Coming to you live from our studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. Whether markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another live stream. Hope y'all are having a great trading day so far. We're excited to get into the markets or into the charts with Nick here in just a second. But before we do that, we are going to check out the market heat map really quickly just to get an idea of how some of our assets are trending so far today. So right here in the market heat map, we are looking at some blue and some red boxes. And what that essentially means is these blue boxes up here are trending upwards so far today, and these red boxes are trending downwards. And right up top here, I can see AUDCHF, AUDUSD, AUD NZD, and even AUD JPY and AUD CAD over here. So the Aussie dollar trending very well so far today. AUD CHF making the most moves to the upside, up 0.57% on the day so far. Down here towards the bottom, I see Euro AUD, the NASDAQ 100, GBP AUD, Euro CAD, the S&P 500, and GBP CAD. So again, we're seeing some of those Australian dollar pairs, as well as some Euro and pound pairs as well. U.S. indices as well, NASDAQ 100 and S&P 500 down here towards the bottom. So U.S. indices not doing too well today so far. I want to thank our sponsors, 8Cap, Forex Tester, and Superfunded. Thank you to those three sponsors. These streams would not be possible without their support. You can find out more about all three of them in the links down in the description below. But with that, let's go ahead and go live into the markets with Nick.
And thank you, James, and welcome everybody to another live stream. I hope you're all doing well. We've got some stuff to talk about. We got to take a look at several U.S. dollar pairs, which was what I really focused on my Sunday video this week. I really spent a lot of time talking about the dollar, and I'm going to follow through on that this week. We're going to really cover the dollar a lot, especially with a lot of U.S. related news. I believe we have this week. Let me check that to make sure, but I believe we have a lot of U.S. news. I know we're scheduling on our side. We schedule out the live streams for the week ahead, and I believe we have some U.S. stuff coming down the pipeline already. So we have PMI numbers and existing home sales coming out. We've got a loaded week, so it will be interesting. Now, of course, in the U.S., for those of you who are wondering why volume might be a little bit lighter today, it's because in the U.S. today is President's Day, and so markets, although a little bit quieter, are still going to be active because, of course, not the whole world celebrates President's Day. But for my U.S. friends and followers out there, that is a little bit of an explanation as to why the markets are a bit quieter today. Going to jump into a bunch of stuff here. I want to show you guys some trades that I'm interested in. Again, I took precedence here this week on the dollar, and this chart is messy. Let me clean it up a little bit. We'll talk about this U.S. dollar idea. So I'm looking at the dollar here, and the dollar has given us quite the pullback here, right? Here's your fibs from swing low to swing high. We saw a nice run up on the DXY with price making a nice push all the way up to 104.67. So today, as price pulls back, I am looking to potentially get long as we dip into this area. In fact, I'm open to buys in this area as long as I can find something that sets up nicely. So with that said, a couple things that come to my mind. I would like to take a look at USD JPY and comment in the chat, which charts would you guys like me to take a look at? CHF. I want to take a look at the Swiss franc. Let me know in the chat, which charts would you guys like me to pull up today? And again, most of my interest here this week is predominantly a US dollar long setup. And I recognize that, of course, with every trade I take, I could be wrong, all the normal stuff. But I do like the risk to reward, I think, on trying to get long the dollar. And we'll see if I'm right about that. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys would like me to pull up. I'll do my best to get to as many charts as I can. I saw somebody mentioned AUD US dollar. So we'll take a look at the Australian dollar. We've got gold, of course, GLD, of course, an interesting one. The euro, of course, we couldn't go without the euro. UJ, we've already got on the list. NZDUSD. Okay, so pretty much all of the dollar crosses, and that's what we're going to dedicate to this stream. Following up my Sunday analysis, we're going to look for entries here, see if we can find anything on the swing trading side of things. So we're going to just go through, and I'll start out with USDJPY. So I'm looking to get long here. If price can pull back a little bit, I'm interested. So where we're currently sitting is not a terrible zone. Just looking for another attempt on the long side. In my view, I think that the USDJPY currency pair could be of interest. Though I want to make sure I look around the room before I get too busy with this stuff. USDJPY on the long side, I mentioned in the group that 133.70 looked good to me. So that's kind of a retest of the lower extreme of this zone here. So 133.70 is like right here. If price pulls back into that area, I'll look to get long. I took a stop loss on this in the early start of this week. So I'm looking to try again on UJ, but probably at a pullback a little bit more extreme than where we currently sit. USDCHF is another one I wanted to look at with you guys here today. And let's start fresh on USDCHF. So this one had a really impressive push. And in fact, even broke through key levels of resistance. So as it pulls back here, I got to check if the watch list has USDCHF on it. But I may be interested, and let's see, USDCHF. Nope, kind of coming in as a neutral. So nothing quite setting up on USDCHF. However, dollar yen still on that list. Now, what you're looking at if you're unfamiliar with the Edge Finder is our watch list page. The watch list page allows us to look at all the different assets that we look at one single time. It sorts them by strongest buy to strongest sell. And if I omit some of the neutral categories, this is basically going to be my watch list for the day. These are assets that I'm most interested in potentially looking for sells on, whereas the blue category is stuff that I'm potentially interested in longs on. So you've got USDJPY up here, Swiss yen up here, dollar CAD up here, all of those as possible buys. And then euro dollar, Kiwi dollar, Australian dollar, and the pound looking on the sell side. So we will be looking across the room at some of these setups here. Good morning, Clement. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. I see a bunch of people already loaded up and hanging out here with us in the background. So thank you for tuning in to another live stream. You guys make this stuff possible for us to be able to do this every day. We cover markets and hopefully share plenty of free resources with you. If you're enjoying the content, if you're supporting us, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you are a fan of the live streams, by hitting the thumbs up button, it's a free thing. It takes you half a second to do, and it really, really supports getting these streams out there so that we can continue doing them. So dollar Swiss, like I said, I am bullish on it, but because the Edge Finder doesn't have bias there, I'm probably not going to take a trade anytime soon on that one. So let me go to Euro USD now, which this one is on the sell side of things, an interest to me. And what I'm looking for on the euro is actually to zoom in a little bit here to recent price. And I actually don't hate the idea of a possible short here on Euro USD. From swing high to swing low, we've got this little fib set up, and that 50% is looking really attractive in my view. So 50% retracement, price pulling back. That could be of interest if price pops back up into that 50. I kind of like that on the short side. And we'll keep an eye on that one. So Euro USD on the short side. I talked about this in my Sunday video. This is one that I'm looking at. What broker for U.S. residents do you recommend? The Beautiful Savage. If you want to support the channel, we have an affiliate link for Oanda down below in the description. That's who I trade with. You can see down here that I'm logged into Oanda. It is the broker that I use to trade currencies. If you want to support the channel, make sure to use that affiliate link down below. And if you're outside of the U.S. and you want to trade directly on TradingView, we also have another one, 8cap, who is our stream sponsor here today, that you can click the link down below and check out as well. So if you want to support the content, use one of our affiliate links. Yes, we will receive some sort of financial support if you use those links, and it would mean a lot just to helping out the show. I do like euro on the short side. Like I said, a 50% retracement looks good. Pound USD, another one that looks pretty intriguing. The 38.2% retracement coming into play. The only reason I mentioned that I don't absolutely love this one is that it doesn't offer any sort of positive swap. And if you guys know my trading style, you know I love positive swaps because it allows me to collect something just for holding on to a trade with my broker. So I mentioned that USD/JPY is really attractive. This one pays out a very nice positive swap. And honestly, near current levels, I don't hate it as sort of more of a swing trade. I think I might still take this trade at current levels. I mentioned 133.70, which is down here. I may still be interested in trying out another buy there, but I'm contemplating USD/JPY here in this zone. As off the 4-hour chart, it looks pretty strong here still. You've got an overall upward trend that looks really strong here, and price may not come down to retest these lows. So I have to weigh the odds of, do I want to go ahead and take another stab here, or do I want to basically try and wait for this level to get hit? And honestly, dollar yen is so strong that, to me, with the dollar bullish factors that came in last week, I don't hate the idea of getting long here on this one for another try, especially with sort of DXY hitting a key level at this 38.2% retracement. I'm interested. I think, like I said, I think that there is this possibility that dollar comes down to test the 50% retracement, which lines up here. So that's the only thing I'm kind of being hesitant on, is because I think the dollar may want to retest a bit deeper into that retracement zone. So yeah, guys, we've got Frank here in the back room, so let's bring Frank in for a second and see what he's got going on. Frank, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What are you looking at?
There's a couple things. Some things I noticed relating to recessions and patterns and how things react. And I was just, because today's February 20th, I remembered that 2 years ago was the first day of the big crash in the market.
The first day of the end.
Yeah. And not saying that this day is related, but there's heavy talks of being in a recession, and it's not going to be called until like 6 months into it, and then we'll be like bottomed out. So we don't really want to know later on, but signs that things are happening. What I've noticed is there a way I can share 3 different screens, or do I just have to do one by one?
If you share your entire screen when you do the share button, instead of a window, you share the entire screen using that button, we'll be able to just see whatever you say the whole time, which is another option. But yeah, just going while you load that chart was crazy. The S&P 500 specifically during 2020 was nuts during February. So
Yeah.
this is a little bit what Frank was showing. So
So
you can pull it up, Frank, and we'll be able to see it.
something I just wanted to point out was, so during this time period when we had this big crash in the S&P, it was 1-1 with the dollar. So the dollar did the same things during this time.
Yeah.
So they usually act as inverse like assets. So if one goes up, the other goes down. And so you can trade on those things. But when there's talks of recession and fears of it, and just worries that things are going to like go bad, they both decline. They both move in unison. And so what we've seen last week and this week is sort of a connection. They've kind of done the same thing. And I know there's sometimes going to be correlated and sometimes not, but we're seeing a lot of like similar activity now. And it just seems like the uncertainty is heightened, and that's usually what happens right before something pops. So I was looking at these 2 graphs, how the dollar and S&P are moving in unison right now. And also one thing that moved the exact opposite way, EuroCAD, which was insane, but it moved to the upside. So just
I remember those moves.
Things to watch during this time, I feel like, would be these assets, because when they move, they really move. And so if you're trying to trade them, it's going to be hard to pick a direction right now. So just some patterns I've noticed, like in previous like moves, and the last recession was the same way. So I just thought maybe this would be helpful to share.
Yeah, no, that's totally helpful. And one thing you pointed out there, Frank, is like, look at the absolute one directional move that several of those assets you just pulled up showed. Like in the case of a crash, you know, a lot of people are scared of a crash. And of course, there's good reason to be. That's terrifying when it happens. But at the same time, if you're trading that market and you catch that short, whether it be, doesn't necessarily even need to be on the S&P 500. You could be trading the dollar. You could be trading that Euro CAD move. If you catch something like that, that's a big example of why, you know, during that time, we really started upping our exposure to sort of trailing stops because of those, you know, occasional crazy moves that can occur. So, and a good point to say, you know, especially with that dollar and S&P 500 correlation that we've been talking about so much recently, it is worth noting that, you know, sometimes you see that occur before sort of chaos in the markets again. So a good point
Yeah.
there, for sure.
This is just showing, this is the correlation coefficient.
Yep.
So right now it's not 1-to-1, but it's like 50%, which is still a bit unusual.
Yeah, because
So
you
if
do
this,
see a lot of that, the weight of that correlation coefficient tends to be on the bottom, where you usually see dollar
right,
down, S&P 500 up, that sort of thing. So a weird scenario, especially in which case, you know, one has to give if it's going to go back to sort of the historical trend there, where one rises and the other falls. And again, always love to see correlation coefficients. They're a powerful indicator. So
yeah,
thank you for sharing that, Frank. And Frank, thanks again for coming on the stream.
yeah, thank you.
All right. You know, we get Frank coming on each day. It is absolutely awesome having him here. We're in a studio office and he's out there doing all the research and stuff. So it's always awesome to have him come on and just share something. You know, and I think that overall, the dollar and S&P 500 story that's been going on is really, really something to pay attention to. You have the S&P 500 rising while the dollar continues up. It's a strange scenario. But now we're seeing the dollar pull back. So it's going to be interesting to see if the dollar does in fact explode higher or not. And will be something to pay attention to. Real quick, guys. After that, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna hear from our sponsor again. How we support this stream financially is we have sponsors. So right now we're gonna switch over to James and hear from him, and we can go into that right now. Check it out.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Real quick, I want to remind you guys that today's stream is sponsored by 8cap. 8cap is an award-winning regulated broker that gives traders a better trading experience. If you choose to trade with 8cap, you'll be able to trade CFDs like gold, Forex pairs, cryptos, indices, and more. Additionally, their spreads are razor thin and they offer up to a 500-to-1 leverage, and their customer support is top-notch. One of the very cool features that they've recently introduced is that they've partnered up with TradingView.com, meaning you can do all of your trading through 8cap directly on TradingView. If you're a fan of the channel, 8cap has partnered up to offer the A1 trading community a free copy of the Edge Finder. Yes, you heard that right. You can win the Edge Finder for free, but all you have to do is sign up for 8cap and deposit $1,000 or more. Click the link in the description to find out more. 8cap is the best in the business, and that's why we're proud to be sponsored by them. Click the link in the description to sign up now. Thank you, 8cap. Nick, back to the show.
All right. Thanks, James, for that. And yeah, again, guys, check out 8cap if you haven't already. They are helping us out here to support the show, and they have a lots of awesome features. You can trade like 1 million assets with them. If I was outside of the US, as I always say, that's the one I'd be trading with. Guys, I think I'm going to take this UJ trade. Let me make sure everything is okay. I mentioned that I was going to do 133.70. I still might, but just based on the way price is reacting here on the lower time frames today, this price seems to be stubborn here, and I think it's worth the risk to reward. So my stop loss is going to be a bit wider. This is going to be more of a swing trade here. This is not a day trade by any means, especially with volume being pretty light. I'm going to risk probably 60 pips here, and I am actually going to go ahead and take this trade. So we're going to do this together here. Let me make sure we're going to go 60 pips. And let me see how this comes out. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and pick this trade up. Give me 1 second so I can mirror it in my other account. We'll go buy here, and I said 60 pips. So let me make sure I get that correct. And so give me 1 second to just write this up, make sure I get it all set up. Take a screenshot of this. Okay. And bear with me, I'm going to be dropping this in the Discord channel. For those of you who don't know what the heck I'm doing right now, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to write this up in Discord. So each time I take a trade, I go ahead and I fully explain the trade to our members within the Discord channel. So let me make sure I screenshot this as well. And we'll just go Edge Finder Pro, grab the whole screen there. And I'm just going to drop this in there. If you guys aren't already in our Discord, by the way, while I'm doing this, we're going to drop a link in the chat. If you guys don't already have the free Discord, it is something available to you. Literally, it is free. We have a free section of the Discord. Of course, it is limited, but it has plenty of stuff that might help you. If you're looking for daily analysis, if you're looking for news coverage, if you're looking for latest videos and that sort of thing, make sure to join the free Discord. We just dropped a link in the chat for you. If you click that link, fill out that form, you'll get a link to join us inside of the action. I'm just writing up a trade alert right now for members, so bear with me as I do this. Copy then paste this in. So here is the trade. We're risking 60 pips. Decided to go to re-enter my position here on stream this morning with a stop loss below market structure lows. Quiet day in the markets due to President's Day. President's Day in the US. Not expecting any immediate volatility. Overall uptrend still intact. Dollar looks attractive after last week's positive economic news numbers. And Edge Finder bullish readings. If I look at the Edge Finder too, let me make sure. I know that I was just looking at it. COT data is looking good. Retail sentiment also looking good. COT data and retail positioning suggest bullishness. Okay, I just wrote out that full thing, just shared that. If you're in the Discord, just go to Nick's Trades right here and you can see what I just wrote if you want to take your time with that. If you're not already in the Discord, like I said, we dropped a free link in the chat below. Make sure to join that there if you're interested. And yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. Nick, can you check out AUDUSD? Sure, we'll pull it up. So the Australian dollar, let's see, AUDUSD. This one does look bearish to me as well, though I do like that UJ trade a little bit better personally. And by the way, if I please, let me just stop to say this. You just saw me take a UJ trade. Please do not go copy that trade. If you saw me take that trade, understand, if you don't understand like the logic behind my trading system, if you just see me take a trade, I am not a fortune teller. I could be dead wrong about UJ here. I am a trend trader. I believe that the trend looks strong overall, but I could totally be wrong. And that's why I have a stop loss in my trade. So just because you see a trader take a trade on the social media does not mean that it is bulletproof. Trades go wrong for me all the time. It's just that I manage my risk properly and trade small relative to the accounts that I'm working with. So please, there is your disclaimer. Do not copy me. I'm not here to offer you, copy signals or anything like that. I'm here sharing my thoughts and opinions on social media, and I get it wrong all the time. So, it's not about how right you are on every single trade. It's about how you do over the long term and how you manage risk accordingly. I will say the Australian dollar, as it pulls back into this 50% retracement level, looks pretty good. Price hitting that 50 lines up nicely with supports that turned resistance here. So we should see, if the dollar is going to stay strong, we should see Australian dollar get rejected here. But we'll have to watch to see how price plays out there going forward. Again, this one gets a strong sell on the Edge Finder. I just happen to remember that from looking at it this morning. You get a -8 there, which is pretty much bearish in almost all categories except for retail sentiment. So the crowd is short on Australian dollar, so it seems to be the popular trade. But outside of that, you have lots of factors here pointing towards a sell bias on the pair. So I do like Australian dollar on the sell side as well. USD CAD. Yeah, let's look at USD CAD. Dollar CAD. Oh my gosh, I got a messy chart here. Hold on, give me 1 second. So USD CAD price pulling back here. Past resistance, now holding potentially as support. USD CAD also looks really good for a buy. There's a lot of USD setups here this morning. Just shy of the 38.2, but again, this is why I had the fibs drawn two different ways. If you drew it this way, it's hitting the 50% right now. Which I think is also valid, especially since it lines up with the support level. Dollar CAD, like I said, bullish bias on the dollar this week, so I would expect price to rise. We'll see if I'm right about that. I don't have a trade on because I just picked up UJ, so I don't want to stack USD trades. I've already got my USD JPY trade live right now. And just to update you guys on my positions, we've got EuroCAD showing up on the screen. That's I haven't updated that yet. We are not in EuroCAD anymore, so that trade is out the window. Only trade currently open for me is long USD JPY. We'll see if I'm able to make some money on that one, or if that market's going to continue pushing lower. But again, I have a bullish bias on the dollar this week as it comes into this 38.2 to 50% retracement zone. I also want to show you guys some seasonality stuff here on the Edge Finder that I thought might be interesting to you. Here's Euro USD. For those of you guys who are watching the Euro, let's do a seasonality deep dive really quick. During February, what this chart is showing you, this is showing you each month of the year, right? January, February, March, all that, right? It's also showing you the blue and red lines. These are historically what each one of these markets tends to do during a given month. So, and that's based off of the 5-year average in blue and the 10-year average in pink. Okay. So what you can see here is that if you're looking at the euro, and comment which ones do you guys want me to pull up in the chat really quick. Which seasonality chart would you like me to look at? I'm happy to do a couple for you really quick. And I'll show you how to read this. For those of you who have the Edge Finder, check out this page when you get a chance. It's the seasonality tab. You can study historical trends on each asset. So during February, the euro historically declines, which is a really interesting point. And as you guys comment which ones you look at, I'll take a look at them with you as well. And it also tends to decline in March in both the 10-year average and the 5-year average, which is really interesting data. So, this is part of the reason why I'm bearish on the euro. I'm bullish on the dollar overall. We can also look at, just while we're here, we could take a look at the pound, see if that looks pretty similar. And it sort of does. March is historically a positive month on the 5-year chart. However, March and April historically look pretty bearish. And you guys are spamming some in the chat, so let me pull up a couple for you. UJ, yeah, I'd like to look at UJ. USDJPY. And so here you go. February, slightly positive on the 5-year, slightly negative on, so basically flat, right? Basically flat expectancy in terms of February. However, look at March and April. March and April are positive expected months for the dollar against the Japanese yen. We could also take a look at Australian dollar, US dollar, and see how this one goes. And there you go. You get a negative expectancy in February. So it's not a holy grail system by any means to look at seasonality, but it's a nice thing to pay attention to in your analysis. So we just added that seasonality tab. If you don't already have the Edge Finder, we do have a free version available. If you guys want access to the free version, we're going to drop a link in the chat right now. If you want to play around with the Edge Finder, it is our market data software tool here that you see, Edge Finder Pro up here. That is what I'm working on. So if you guys want to play around with the free version, we're going to drop a link in the chat. Fill out that form and you can get access to the free version there right now. Let's take a look at gold. A lot of people asking me about gold here this morning. So gold, going off of my bullish dollar thesis this week, gold is sketching me out. I think if price comes up to the 61.8%, I think you probably see market participants looking to sell in this area. That would be my take on it. Just kind of going with the flow, going with the trend here. We've overall seen the gold market pushing lower here, lower highs, right? Really struggling to break out with meaningful success. So as price pulls back up into that 1850, that's been the mark that I've paid attention to the last few days. So 1850 looks sell heavy in my opinion. We'll see if that holds. But again, just kind of going with that bullish thesis I've got on the dollar at this time. So yeah, 1850, the 61.8% retracement lines up nicely with support that turned resistance. I think gold has had a nice run here and may squeeze a bit higher on the lower time frames. If you're looking at this, off the 15-minute chart, the 15-minute chart looks a lot healthier, but beware as you tag up into that higher time frame that sellers could be waiting up at that 61.8% retracement. Seasonality is not on the free version of the Edge Finder. I don't think it is, unfortunately, no. But you do have some other free versions, free features on the free version. Seasonality is reserved for supporters of the Edge Finder product. So I think gold, like I said, I think it can squeeze a little bit higher, probably wants to retest that 1850 mark. But from there, I would say pretty sell heavy in my view, looking for a continuation on that dollar overall. So that's where I'm at with that. US 30 and NASDAQ. I'll do a quick look at the US 30 here. The stock market is closed today due to President's Day in the United States. US 30 looks pretty flat. Not really interested in that. However, NAS 100, I've mentioned this area. I think if price pulls back a little bit deeper, there may be a good risk reward here in my view for a buy continuation. Just kind of based on, we've had this downward trend that's been like undefeated for a long time. And we've started to see buyers kind of come back into this market and really push us to the upside. So now it's probably due for a normal, very healthy pullback, right? It's very, very overdue for some pullback. And as it pulls into this zone here, past resistance could turn as support. And overall, looks like, in my view, the risk reward could be pretty good there for some longs. That's off the daily chart. 4-hour chart looks good too. You've had some respect to this zone already. And as it pulls back into this zone, I've had my eye several times on 12,200, and both times I missed the trade narrowly. So if it pulls back, like I said, the US market is not open today, so you're probably not going to see much volatility here until the market really gets going tomorrow. So that's why I've been hyper focused on that dollar idea here. So see. So yeah. Why did you buy USD JPY? If you back up, I went over the whole thing as I shared the trade alert. So you can, if you just reverse the stream a little bit, you can hear my analysis there. So yeah, guys, now we're going to bring in our guest of the day, Mr. Eivindfx. We'll say hello to Ivan. Hey, Ivan.
Hello. How are you?
How are you? I'm good.
Yes.
Good to see you. We've got President's Day here in the United States. Ivan, I was just going over the fact that markets are expected to be a little bit quiet throughout the session. What are your thoughts? What are you looking at today?
Well, on a Friday, we really squeezed out a take profit on the week, and it's falling down. But by the numbers coming in, it's pretty dollar bullish, I would say. It's pretty hot at the moment. CPI is not as weak as expected. Employment is very, very, very tight. So it's not looking great for a dollar bearish going forward. It seems like we still need to have a couple of extra rate hikes coming in, more than we already present.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you on that. Last week's data was just so strong for the dollar hawkish case with Jerome Powell, and this week we have, like I said, we have the Federal Reserve meeting, which could be, of course, a pivotal moment of the week. We'll have to watch that and see how that goes. But overall, yeah, a lot of strong economic numbers last week for the dollar, and kind of relighting the flame for dollar bullishness in my view as well. So we'll see how that plays out. I like UJ on the long side. I was looking at euro dollar on the short side. So we'll see if we can find something to trade there. What are you of the dollar crosses? What are you paying attention to most?
Well, I love euro dollar. That's pretty much a straightforward case. The only problem is that I was looking at it this morning and I saw this very strong reaction to 106, and I'm like, that looks to be like a whole new. I've tried to sell it before, and I just know that normally leads to a pretty aggressive uptrend, and it did. And I'm a bit surprised that we are paused. So any higher, that would be great, like 107.50, 108 are prices I'm looking forward to for the downside.
Yep. Yep, and I would agree too. I was looking at the euro dollar, and I just don't like selling it where it's currently at. But if it gets a bit of a rise, I'd be interested. I think the risk reward gets a little bit more attractive. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm with you on that. What about Australian dollar? Do you have any interest on the AUDUSD?
The problem here, as mentioned, is that this strong move and past performance is not indicative of future results. But I'm burned in these situations, so I'm like, also, what kind of situation, what kind of market, what kind of price action was it before? I would even say it's like almost like a breakout of a range. It's not really a perfect range by any means, but I don't like this setup because of this whatever this is pause
Yeah,
and
the
then a
choppiness.
new lower low, and then that leads to normally that way. So if I were to do anything on Aussie, it would be to buy it, price action wise at
Gotcha.
least.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And what about the indices as well? I wanted to hear your thoughts on this because Frank and I have been pretty confused on the indices just because the indices have held up nicely. It's been an uptrend recently.
Yeah.
I still think that there's decent risk reward, but the fundamentals are still, of course, sketchy. You get some
Hmm.
very mixed sentiment, especially with the dollar looking red hot. What are your thoughts on maybe the S&P?
Well, if you look at S&P, like what does first of all, what does the market tells us right now? Right now, it's pausing. It's not really
Yeah.
giving us. And I would also argue, given the data recently, with higher than expected, it doesn't slow down as fast as we would like to. It's supposed to come a bit down. Well, that's because your view. Maybe that's why you're confused because you're not getting what you want. But overall, I think it just to just wait a bit. It will probably turn around in a couple of days or a couple of weeks or whatever, and then we are all of a sudden up at 4,200. And
Yep.
be patient.
Yep, and I would tend to agree. The S&P is very interesting in that way. It sort of grinds higher slowly over time, whereas when it does decide to sell, it sells very quickly. And we'll
Yeah.
have to watch to see that one for sure. Ivan, I'm going to back out. I've got to run and do some things here on the back end. But before I step out, let me make sure to plug you guys to Ivan's channel. If you haven't already, check out Eivindfx on YouTube. He's got some great content. We're going to drop the link in the chat right now. Check it out. Click this link. Go over there. Subscribe to Ivan if you haven't already. He's got some great concepts, and one of the reasons we love having Ivan on is because on my channel, on the A1 Trading channel, we try and bring on people as much as we can that offer some level of fundamental analysis with their technicals, as we find that to be a more fully viewing the market way of doing things. And having Ivan is absolutely awesome. So make sure to go check him out for more fundamental content as well. Ivan, enjoy the stream, and see you next time, man.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. So, everyone, how's it going? Is it great fun day? Well, what are we right now? So I had a meeting this morning with the A1 group for like 20 minutes. It's recorded, so it'll be uploaded to the universe. Um, what kind of happened? What did we see this morning, and then how are we going to develop from that now? And to be honest with you, it wasn't an easy case this morning. It wasn't like, well, this is going to go higher, this is going to go lower. I said that we are definitely on dollar having some, what can I call it? Not so favorable directions on the um, on the dollar in terms of shortness, right? That's just how things has turned out. Now, if we are going to be like, okay, so what do we do now? How do you treat this as, first of all, as a trader? Second of all, as a investor or whatever, this is a post game. This is the long run game. The long run game is, what is your setup? And as much as that is difficult to understand, and as much as it's difficult to keep your sanity when things is either going against you or it is going not so much with you, is that if you're dollar bullish, is these favorable conditions? So what is my view? Alt tough. It is, well, I believe that short term wise we are gonna go dollar bullish. It's just that way. Now, Am I going to be like, well, you should do this or you should do that? No. I'm expecting dollar bullishness. If that happens, then I can trade. But if it doesn't happen, then what am I going to do next then? Well, nothing whatsoever, because you are, in as much as I would say, everything is great, everything is bullish, but you are, first of all, capable of making your own decisions. Secondly, do you make money here overall? And I don't always do that. All right. So if you feel like this, I lose money here. So why are you even considering it? Ivan, Nate Ford says, Ivan, and I would say Nate. Nate, where are you? It's EIVIND. That's my name. So if you can read my name, that would be great. Then, what do you think about binary option? Absolutely hate it. Cannot stand it. What do you mean? What do you mean? First of all, I tried many years ago to do it. Well, I lost my thousands, and that's been that. So what did I do? I did 1 minute time frame, 1 minute, 5 minutes. Within, well, which level did it hit first, the upper or the lower band? I tried everything, right? I tried whatever is out there. It's not profitable. I don't want you to do it. And if you do it, if you do binary option, come to me. I will tell you I want to do it. I don't. Sure, go ahead, try it out. See what happens, and then come back to me and say, Ivan, you're either right or you're wrong. I'm about testing things. Don't come to me like, Ivan, you told me this. Test it. Don't put real money into it, by the way. But I tried for a year of the beginning of my trading career doing this, and I can't, because I can't say anything good about it because I didn't make it profitable. That's all. So sorry. And I know there's a binary community out there. Sure. Let's take it in the back alley, and we can discuss it until we become yellow, blue, and purple. Yeah, also it's short-term volatility mostly. But yeah. What is your view on NASDAQ, on US 30? We will do that, Shaik. Hello, Siskelo. Henrique says USDCAD. Alex says EuroCAD. New Zealand dollar. Johnny says it's never profitable. Yeah. Now, it might be for some people out there. I'm not going to be like, oh, you guys are terrible. Oh, this is terrible. No, it might be, but it's just not for me. Okay, cool. That's the disclaimer. So going forward, if I go off track, just say, Ivan, back to track. Okay, just you guys, we are going to have fun today. So dollar index, I believe higher. Does this look higher? No. Is this profitable? I don't like this setup. Am I going to keep myself away from it? If you go to euro, maybe not. Now, I might, against contrary view on you, to be like, Ivan, you should do a extensive research or extensive explanation of what do you think is happening. I'm sorry, I can't give two hoots if the market doesn't agree with me. If this is a setup I don't like, I give it 0 seconds. Why? Because I have better things to do. You know, if I can lay in the sun, become a bit more tanned, I would rather do that than to spend an hour analyzing something I can do nothing about. So I want you to go back to, what can you fix? What can you do something about? What can you do something about in this situation? If you don't have a setup that is profitable over time, leave. Good. Not this. But let's go to another dollar pair then. What about Aussie? Not early either. Bearish. Well, if it falls, it falls. Was that because it was profitable every time this happens? Let's go back to like a time where this happened before, when I'm like, let me show you, bros. Okay. So this one, for example, this one is the same situation. Okay. It paused. Okay, fair enough. That's one out of many. What about another time? Kind of like this one. We had a pretty steep fall out of some kind of range or whatever that is, and then we start continue higher. Okay, maybe not so interesting, but this is kind of the same. Sharp fall, and in the end, we have a pretty steep rise here. Goes into a range, makes a new lower low, but it doesn't continue trending after that. Okay. Oh, look at this juicy one. Comes back down, hits whatever, strong rejection out of the market, comes back down again. That is not a sell, mate. That is not a sell. That is a buy. Fails, or you hit target, or whatever happens. Then you have a new lower low. When this one breaks here, that at this point, now you can look for bearishness. Okay? So whatever you're seeing right now in Aussie, currently, if you're a seller, stay so far away from it. But what do you mean, Eivind? I just went through it. Go through previous market conditions of the same things when you see market going fast down, fast back up again. What was this market? 68.10, 68.68. What is that? Psychological level. Did somebody take profit there? Yeah. Are they going to drive the market down there again? Random. They might not. New Zealand has been strong this morning, says Populu. Yes, that is okay. But did you have a trading plan there? And if your trading plan is to buy, is that a lower low? That's a lower low, lower high. Very low, yes. Then you can look at a New Zealand dollar buy, but I would caution you, because you have all of this resistance. And if you're a seller like me, we have all of these possibilities to look for a reversal down. Okay? Look for all of these ones. Now, where is it going to be? Is it going to be the first one, 62.50? Is it going to be 63.50? We never know. So how do we then look for our entry? How do we look for a reversal? How do we do? Okay. Let me show you which setup I normally would like to take. That is that one. Continuation trade. Scusa. I had a discussion earlier today about a similar situation as of this one. Is this one a pullback? Or is it a retracement? Or is it bullish? Is somebody? I forgot to exit my Counter Strike. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's CS:GO. Yeah, it's true. I've been outed. Yeah, it's true. A1 trading. It's true. I was playing. It's to get my sharpness up, my reactiveness, I use that to get my sharpness up, actually, to get my brain to get on, because you have to make split-second decisions so that I don't be like, oh, I'm a sloth. No. Yeah, of course. Hi, Sisikelo. Have you ever tried trading the 1-minute chart? I've been finding out a lot of success with it, and I finally make some consistent profit for the first time ever. David Johnson, or David Johnson, depending on where you're from. I haven't. Not that it's not profitable, but I would say it is too noisy for me. That's just my personal opinion. But I would like to have a talk with you, David. I would like to know how do you do it? What do you do? So give me a call, because if you're profitable, consistent profitable, by the way, over time, I am not short of envying. I would like to learn. I also have a couple of conversations with the A1, those who are profitable in the A1 community, just to learn. Never die, kind of a thing. Never let anything make you not seek knowledge. So I would be lovely to hear that it is possible to make money on the 1 minute chart, though it is not how I do things. But I will listen. Is this bullish? Is this a pullback? Is this a retracement? Because this is resistance, right? So we broke there. That's the pullback, by the way. Anything below this two, that is plan A and plan B, is pullbacks, in my opinion. And then, so if this one is pullback 1, this one is pullback 2. What is this then? Higher time frame retracement. That's what I would call it. Because we need to allocate for this higher 4-hour retracement, and the market still continues after that. So don't, just because you have a higher time frame pullback doesn't mean that we are new bullish trend or whatever. So when you are looking at this one, is this a higher time frame pullback? So far, yes. That's what I wanted to mention. But I don't like this market here, meaning this could be developing to a bullish reversal, V reversal, by the way. So if you are a buyer, you can look for that. Fine. But it's very risky, by the way. So me as a seller, I'm like, I don't like this anymore. Somebody asked for USDCAD. I don't know USDCAD because I've lost so much money with USDCAD that I can't even consider it. Like, I'm sorry, that is just one of my weaknesses. You tell me where it's gonna go. I have absolutely no clue whatsoever. Even though I'm supposed to be an expert in something, a USDCAD is my least one. I see that. I see that, Henriquez. And range. Anyone? Any better? Any takers? I give it $10 if you can give me a direction and it's profitable over time. You have bears in USDCAD. Then I would look for, well, is that a sell? Is that a sell or a brand new lower low? I would love for your benefit to do that. Let's get it trending, Let's get it trending before we do anything. I would say we are basically range. We have been a range between 132 and 139.80. That doesn't interest me unless we are pretty high and then we can sell it, or we break out. So that's kind of my two requirements for trading it. So I don't want you to trade it. That's just my personal opinion, because I want you to win. I want you to have profitable trades, and I want you to have a lot of money. But I don't like that entry whatsoever to sell in between there. Sorry, mate. Eric Aranja says, hi, how are you? I'm very fine. Muzurizana. Abariyako. I'm still a newbie, it says Omar PlayStation. I have done my tech analysis on USD yen, 50-minute time frame. There's descending triangles. So is that a market going bearish? Thank you very much. So, Enriquez, much love from me, by the way. So I would like you to find a different pair to look at or analyze, so that you can make some money, right? Great. Yeah, USD yen. But you said 15-minute time frame. Okay. What did you say? You called it descending triangle. Okay. Community. Family. Is this bearish? Is USD yen bullish, bearish, or range? 1, 2, 3. Bullish, bearish, range. Which how do you analyze this market? Let's help out. Let's help out Umar here. I know what I think here, but I want you guys to give me that feedback, because I don't fancy your words. I must say, there's nothing wrong with you, Umar. It's just that I. Yeah, Johnny, that's a funny one. I haven't actually looked into it. Maybe I should have a study of trader Nick's trade sometimes. Yeah. Sudadip says it's bullish. Okay, fair enough. That's all right. At what point, if it is bullish, if Sudadip is correct, when is it bearish? When is a market bearish? If it is so bullish. You see a descending triangle. Is the market going to be bear or going on a bearish trend? I would understand you to be that one. And to give you an answer, as any market, this is trend trading 102. I can't even do that. Okay, I'm sorry. I suck at this, but fair enough. Once we break the previous higher low, which is this one, somewhere here, that is when we are we're no longer bullish. We're no longer aggressive bullish. And until then, we cannot sell. If you are thinking about this is bullish, fair enough. I can agree with you. But saying it's a bearish triangle or a triangle that would lead to bearishness, I would highly disagree. The reason for that is, in my experience, is that whenever we are holding the previous low, for at least for some time, we are still likely to go higher. That bounces more times than not. Now, if we do have a candle close below 133.60, regardless of the time frame, to be honest, that's when we can no longer be bullish. That's when we get out. We cut our trades, we cut a loss, and we head out and do something else. Maybe riding on a camel or something. And then pull back. Sellers can sell, either there or there or there, until we have broken that high to the upside. Bearishness is only the available one. I see USD it's a range until it breaks out of the current lows. That's a good one, Mr. Jonathan. Okay, but overall, where are we going? This is bullish. And even on the 4 hour, I would say as long as we are above 130, which is 400 pips away, we are still bullish. Until that is broken, it's still bullish. And now I think I would like to be I think I would make like a playbook one time, hopefully one time, where I see this market, you do this market, you do that, this market leads to this market leads to that, for you to understand and pick my brain. Because I have been given a lot of trading setups over the years, and it's just like, okay, copy paste. Which one is it? Which one is it? Identify. Is USD New Zealand making a double bottom? I disagree with that. I think it's just a V reversal. Depends on the time frame, I guess, but maybe 15-minute time frame. But on the 1 hour, 4 hour that we are analyzing, no. Okay, maybe. I would even say it's a range at this point. Oops, that was wrong. I would even say it's a range, but that's that. All right, there we go. Yeah, but other than that, you can say that this is short-term bearish here, but and then this is just a pullback until it breaks. But other than that, I don't see a double bottom now. Euro pound was asked a lot in Nick's stream. And I must say, I don't know if I fancy it. Why do I even not fancy it? What is Eivind's problem? Eivind's problem is 989, sorry, 1.89 was the monthly target. What does that mean? That means you as a buyer should get out of there. Does that mean anything else? No. It just means that if we're, 89.40 were hit target there. We came all the way back down to central, and then we went back up again. If you're wondering if that is some of my rules of my trading, yes, that is exactly perfect. But where are we now? We are in between. We're no longer bearish. We're no longer bullish. We're just in no man's land. So I would actually argue with you and say, wait until March. But what do you mean, Eivind? How can I wait until March? Because I love you. That's one. Second of all, if I find you the same type of setup, I can blow your mind because it's happened before. Okay, let me see if I can find it. When was it? Was it back in? Yeah, even this one. Fair enough. In June, we kick off the aggressive entry, straight up to target, like a rocket ship, straight down again. And then what did we do until the next month? Range. Nothing ever happened. Okay. Then we do the same thing in May, straight up to target, a bit higher, back down again. What do we do then? Well, we do have a higher range, but it's still a range. And if you took profit at the first target and the second target, your entry is still lower in the next month. And I can probably give you more examples of that. This is actually the one we were looking at. I remember saying people take profit on a euro pound. We do go down to central pivot, and then we do range. We did make a new small trend at the beginning of March. But my main point is, if we hit target early, if we come back to central pivot, if we are back to where we started, the most likely thing to happen is nothing. So if you're euro pound, put it on a pause button, and you might get 0.89 to buy next month. Okay, chill pill. Is this a good time to short gold? Said Alt have. Not entirely. Why is it so? Because is this a resistance you want? Okay, is it high enough? Where is the true level to get in on these trades? And I would argue that 1980 is good. I would argue 1862. And I can argue that 1846 is okay. But it is not the strongest one in this world. Though, if you do sell here, okay, if you do choose to sell here, you're responsible. The requirement to be allowed to sell it by me is that you are as happy tomorrow if it hits your stop loss. If you can't take the stop loss, you can't trade. Okay. If you can take the loss, as ordinary everything, you can't trade it. FrankLab.01 says, I'm long euro pound. Great, good for you. Hope that the trade plan is working out for you. But I wouldn't advise on anything there. But I would definitely not trade it until March. So that is number one option. There's number two option. And there's number three option. And sell. As long as we do have a lower low, lower high, yes, sells are okay. But remember, the level you choose and the the approach that you take, yes, matters a lot if you are allowed by me to trade it. The reason why, because there's a lot of people coming, I sold pound, I sold gold. I lost money. Sure, you lost money. Why did you lose money? Why did you sell there now and then your stop loss is there? Why did you do that? Have you traded this before? Yes, I have traded before. I lost money. Have you done it over time? No, I tried it this week. Okay? We only do what we do best, that we do over time. And this, my friend, is a bit of a risky one. So that's all. Pound, dollar, please. Use the how do you say your name? SNKRSS lots. Use the yen has been mentioned. It is overall bullish. But yeah. And now I can't get my euro pound thing. Okay, fair enough. You said pound USD, mate. Okay, we can do that. 2 seconds. Okay. What is the direction here? What is going on here? Sal. Okay, new lower low. Sal. Why am I saying sell? Because it's bearish. Because what we learned earlier is that if we break the previous lower, higher low, it's bearish until we break the previous high. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That means that's sell, that's a sell. If you can probably take it, if you can take that one too. And is it a sell now? It's very low. But if it comes up to 120, 150, woohoo! It's higher. And then if you trade again at 123, woohoo! Until it is breaching 124. If it comes up to 123, you need to have a technical reversal in the lower time frames. Need to make sure you don't sell a bullish, aggressive trend. That's all. So yeah. Uno, dos. Yeah, that's the options that we have. Probably tres, but that's not a good one. Pound CAD, Aussie Swissy, looks good for a short, says Andreas Canal. Okay, I can look into it. Still have Australian Swissy open though. Everything else has hit stop loss. Oh, okay, all right, okay. What I heard earlier today, Ivan, can we buy it? And I'm like, dude, you're aggressive. All right, you made money. Congratulations on a paper trade. But is that profitable? Is that great? Is that bullish? No. What is it? Risking. What is it? It's a range. Bearish range. What does that mean? That you are risking your life for nothing. That nobody that doesn't care about your direction. Short-term volatility. That's what it's called. But if it does go higher, sure, we can take the trend. But there's no trend to the upside here. What about seller? Can you sell here? Sure. Go ahead. Stop loss above EU. 64.40. That's a lot of pips. But I don't like this range thing. That's why. So good. Because you yeah. Dollars all over the place. How can you trade it? Andreas, I can tell you something for free. Okay? Listen up. Okay. You wait. You wait for pullback. You wait for your setup, and if you don't get it, you don't trade it. And you can and you can feel a lot of resentment and a lot of pain in the meantime. But until then, cheers. Yeah, I know, James. I don't have any right now. Yeah, boom. Sorry, mate. James. What's your best trading setup? Best pair trader setup. Do I have one? Euro, dollar, maybe to the downside, but it's not really great at this point. I don't have a fantastic setup at this point, so I just have to wait. That's all. Yeah, okay. Now, moving forward, I will go through my own little thing too. Second, just do this. Is it Swissy? CAD, sorry. My bad, sir. Who was it? It was Andreas. British pound CAD. Okay. That's a sell. There is your buy. It failed. I would actually say, what about selling it? Though I do not like these pullbacks. Whee. That's a lot of pullbacks. That's a lot of pullbacks. Yeah, maybe downside on this one. It's nope, nope, nope. Yeah, maybe it's definitely bullish. So yeah, maybe bigger pullback this week. Yes, absolutely correct. So yeah. So if it comes back up to either some level, as long as it's below 62.50, down to 60.30, probably a good one. But I wouldn't. Well, actually, pretty good actually. And then stop loss above previous high. Yeah, something like that. But this might actually be the best sub trading setup technically so far, at least. But yeah, that's all. Why are you not on my watch list? Somebody, where did you go, my little friends? Okay. US oil, Karanja. That's clearly a sell level. Absolutely. Good on you. Good on you. New Zealand dollar news tomorrow. Let me double check that. I want to check which news you're talking about. That is tomorrow. I'm not too sure which one you're mentioning. So 21st, probably yours. 10 can also be yeah. Okay, that is Wednesday my time. That is correct. Your Tuesday. Yes, and then that one's going to give us direction on New Zealand. And then we need to look at what they're saying, and then there is more to come. The next central bank meeting is Australia, probably 8th of March-ish. So it's only them now, and then we have CPI on Thursday, and then we have FOMC meeting minutes, and then we have CPI out of Japan, and then your GDP out of America. So to me, it's not really it's not something I would like to trade. So I would like just have a little bit of ice in the tummy. Is that what you call it in English? And then see how things goes. But that generally leads to New Zealand dollar generally going higher before the meeting, and then we have to see. Yeah, so I don't want to trade this one then. If there is an interesting meeting on Wednesday for me. So let's go through some dollar pairs. Where I can't. Where is where's my pairs? Where is it? Come on. Okay, there we are. Cool. So S&P 500 bearish so far, or a bit of bearish at least. Dollar index bullish. Could continue to fall a bit more, but we'll have to see tomorrow if it's actually going to fall. Australian dollar aggressive to the upside. If you're a buyer, sure, you can look for a pullback. If you're a seller, chill. Euro, same thing. Probably wanted up to 107.40, 108 before shorting. If this one makes a new low now, fantastic. Then we can take the pullback. Pound, same situation. It needs to be higher. 120, 120.50, 121.50, or 122.50, something higher. Look for reversal and then take it down. A New Zealand dollar, very bearish actually, compared to pound. But okay, fair enough. We'll have to keep waiting for that one to come out. New Zealand is the same boat as New Zealand. Dollar, US dollar. One is a bit of a weird one. But what about yen pairs? Australian dollar has risen today. This yen, that's yen. Did you buy it? Did you buy euro yen? Did you buy CAD yen? Did you buy pound yen? Is it bullish? Tja. What do you call this, Ivan? I call this where Ivan never wants to be found trading. It is non-directional. It can make a higher high, then it can trade the new trade, but the new trend. But right now it has paused. When did it pause? It paused here. Did it make a new higher high? No, it did not. Therefore, from here and here, it might tell me, well, we are bearish, Ivan. But then we make almost a new high. Okay, still bearish. But then we are like, no trend. So digest pairs accordingly and don't make this into bullish. This is not bullish. This is, well, overall bullish, but currently ranging. So we have to wait for this one. You can see CR. I have absolutely no clue what you're saying, Ted. I do not know anything about that. Use the yen who was asked for earlier. What is this? It's aggressive trend. Are we pausing? As long as we are above 133, you're allowed to buy it. Can you sell it? I wouldn't, because it hasn't really shown lower lows and lower highs moving forward. Okay? Now, what are we going to do this week? We might see dollar bullishness. And if so, we will take it. Going into the overall meetings, can it have a pullback this week and say, hey, you're not wrong? Yes. Does that make you want to pause? Yes, but you shouldn't. Because I had a discussion earlier today, which I earlier disclaimed, where you have these pullbacks, these deeper pullbacks in the middle of the trend. Does that make your trend ended or dead? No, not at all. You still need to be alert. You still need to be like, aha, I know what's going on here. I know it's going to be bearish. I know it will do this. I know it will do that. Because the technical analysis changes doesn't mean that your fundamental bias changes. Okay? And now some of you are as reactive to the market as a stream of fish reacting to a shark. It is changing the direction faster than I can change my t-shirt, which in my opinion is a wrong way of doing it. The reason why is a wrong way of doing it, because if you're going to kill all your trades here because you made a higher high here and then you lost all of these profits. Why? Psychology. Keep your psyche absolutely sharp. How do you keep it sharp? Is the market bearish? Is the market bearish? Is the market bullish? Is the market in my direction? Is it? And if you see weakness after a long trend, you see new higher highs, okay, what are you going to do then? Are you going to kill? Are you going to continue? Okay. What about if there's a target there? Are you going to be like, continue? Yes, you can continue. But you have to get a risk. Here as well, create a risk. But you don't throw everything off the boat just because you're like, oh. But you're cautious. Yes. And that means you're still going to sell here. You're still going to sell here. And you're still going to sell here. And then you'll be like, I don't like this pullback over here. That's a different case than just that one. Okay? Just saying it to you. There is a higher time frame pullback. as much as lower time pullback. I call this lower time pullback, and I call this higher time pullback, which is still at resistance on the 4-hour. And if it makes a higher high after that, sure, then you're wrong and your trade is dead. Australian dollar yen, check. Okay, what is this? Mostly range bound, not really giving a direction. Deepening pullbacks. There was a strong one there, and I'm not betting on it, but I need to see what's coming out of Bank of Japan and their new governor, if he's going to do yield curve control or not. That's going to be the direction that I'm going to take on yen pairs moving forward. I don't have one at this point, other than it's opposite. Other than the market is not really trending fantastically at the moment. It's hard to keep the psychology in check. Absolutely, James. And we need to work on it every single day. Every single day. All right. Other than that, hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I am the mentor here at A1. I would also say, the mentor here and analyst here in A1 Trading. I will have a meeting tomorrow with you at around 10 a.m. my time, which it is 6:50 p.m. right now. So around London Open, give or take. You're gonna have a small little get together in the live room in Discord. If you're not, get yourself signed up so we can have a good time. I will answer any questions you have there. Other than that, hope you have a fantastic day. Durable bullish is what I hope for. We shall see if we get it or not. But let's say, boom. See ya.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember, if you open a $1,000 or more trading account with 8cap, you'll receive a free copy of the Edge Finder. Click the link in the description below to find out more. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.